Hi, so I am just working on some paper piecing, and I thought I would do another short paper piecing shortcut video. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of my technique of paper piecing, and so yeah, let's get started. I am going to be using some of this fabric. It's Mirage by Alex Anderson for RJR Fabrics. And they were so kind to send me some of this, and I'm really excited because I'm going to be making my hot air balloon pattern. It's called Rise Above, and it's a new pattern coming out really pretty soon, in the next month or so, so I'm really excited. So watch for that. Anyway, so here is my balloon pattern template that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to show you how I glue baste while paper piecing, but then also how you can speed up the process by doing multiple sections at the same time. So like here you can see, here's one is the balloon, and then I have labeled 2 over here, 3, 4, and 5. And so this one is really easy because I just have the balloon as a print, and then everything else is just white background for my balloon. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So first of all, I have everything cut out. So here's one of my balloons that I'm going to be using. Oh, it's so pretty. And I fussy cut that, so I kind of had it, the design centered for my balloon. And I'm excited. I have some other ones I'm going to show you. So this one's kind of diagonal, and that one's cute. That one's pretty, I think. And then here's a fun design one. Isn't that awesome? That's going to be an awesome hot air balloon. So, and then these are what ones I already glue basted, and you can see how I have them prepared already, the 4 sections, and they're glue basted, so like I can move them and they don't fall off. And that is great because then I can glue baste like a whole stack of pattern templates, and I don't have to worry about them moving. And so then when I'm ready, I can go ahead and sew them all together, but it saves a lot of time because I can do one process all at once for all the templates that I have, and then I can move on to the next step all together. And I feel that that is one thing that really speeds up the process for me. So just another prep that I did to get to this point before I start actually paper piecing is I have cutting templates. And you can see that it's labeled, so like this is section 11B, which is over here, and the templates are kind of reversed from that. Anyway, I talk about that a little bit in my patterns and explain that, but anyway, so they're labeled to match the different sections, and so I cut them all out. I'm going to be making 6 balloons, so I have 6 pieces of fabric for each piece. So I'm going to be using the 2B, 3B, 4B, and 5B. So those are what I'm going to be using. So they're already cut out, and you can see that I cut them out exactly around like that. And something new that I added to this pattern are these little dots right here, and that's the side that will be sewn down first when you are paper piecing. And so, and I like that. That really helps me because then I can take my piece of fabric and I know this is going to be folded down, and so right away I can just fold that one under by 1/4 of an inch like this. I just after you practice for a long time, you can just I don't know, after you quilt for a long time, I think you can get to a point where you're good at eyeballing 1/4 of an inch. So I just fold it under, and then I'm ready to go to glue baste that down. So that's my 2B. So I'm going to move this out of the way so you can't see it, but just so you can see what that is. So here's my pattern template. I'm going to flip it over, and this is my light source. This is like a light table I had when I was a little kid, and my parents held on to it, and I took it with me when I moved away. So, and it's been awesome. And then I actually just have this plastic thing is my sister gave it to me when we got married, and it's just, it has like these little, I don't know if I can show them, it has these little feet on them, And so it's actually something that you can put over your stove or your sink, so when you're cooking it just gives you more counter space. And I took the cover off my light table because it was kind of like frosted, so it didn't give me a lot of light, so sometimes it was harder to see through like darker fabrics. But anyway, so I just put it over so it gives me a nice table to work on over my light source. So you can actually just get any piece of glass, like a coffee table, and just put a lamp or a light underneath it, and that would work just as well. That would be awesome. So light sources are really handy. So this is just a fabric glue stick, and I only use it on the very first piece, and I just, like you saw, I just glue kind of all over so that my fabric will stick. And then I line up my first piece of fabric. And now if you fussy cut, you kind of want to make sure that you get it aligned right where you want it. And so with the light table, I can see the lines of my balloon out here, and you can kind of see it helps when I like to paper piece in the dark, like when it's kind of dark, because then you don't have like the light. See, like when it's bright, I can't really see the lines, but see if I create a shadow, then you can see those lines come through. I'm trying to look in the camera. You can see the lines come through, and so you can see better. So that's another thing, is I like to paper piece at night. Obviously not in the pitch dark, you can be able to see what you're doing, but when it's darker, if you have a light source, it's easier to see if you don't have light shining on the front. So then I just kind of put it down to the glue. I think it kind of dried. I talked too much before putting it on. So yeah, you want to lay it down right away, but then it will hold that down. It's not totally centered, but I think it's okay. I'm happy with that. So, and that will hold it to the paper. And then what I get is this glue, Elmer's glue, school glue, just a washable school glue. And I have this glue tip that I got from Christy Creates. Her website is Purple Daisy Quilts, I think. Anyway, she's awesome. She's the master of glue basting, so you definitely want to check her out and learn all her secrets and tips. They're not secrets because she shares them with everybody, and she's amazing. So then what I'll do is I'll start, so here's my 2B piece, my B's for the background. So here's my piece of fabric that I'll put on first, and I already folded it over, so I know. And then 2B, you can just kind of look here, it's on this side. So I'm going to rotate this around and find that line right there. So I just take my glue tip and I just draw a line on the inside where my seam allowance is going to be. So here's the line, and then let's see if I can zoom this up a little bit if you can see it. So you can see, so here in the shadow, there's the line underneath, you can kind of see it, and then there you can see the glue that I drew. So it extends past the other lines just to hold it in place. So then I just kind of hold this tight. I'll fold that under and just kind of hold it, not pull it tight, but just hold it taut. So there's no, so it, I don't know, especially when you're working with bias, it's kind of a fine balance. You just kind of learn to hold your fabric so that it doesn't wiggle and stuff. Like, how do you explain that? So it's not pulled or distorted. That's the word I'm looking for. Sorry if I say a lot. Still trying to learn how to talk and do this at the same time. So thanks for your patience. So then I just push it down and glue it down into the glue once I've aligned it. So I aligned it right with that line. So the folded edge, the fold where I folded it under, goes right where the line is underneath. And then I just kind of push it and make sure it's flat. And you can kind of adjust it to make sure it's flat. And then I'll get the 3B piece. And then I flip it over, and these ones are easy because I just know the long straight edge is the edge that will be folded. And if you don't know, you can always just like lay it over and just see that the shape fits the shape that you're trying to cover, the space that you're covering. So I'm just going to fold it over and kind of crease it and then draw my line. try and do it shaded. It's nighttime, so the lighting's not great, but for me it's great doing this, but not for video. And then I'll just kind of push that down in the glue and unfold it. And then I'll do 4B, which is over here, so you can just kind of pick it up. So yeah, don't glue outside of the section, just so you can see what you're doing. Just fold it, increase, and sometimes if you have a hard time seeing, you can just press on your fabric to push it down more, and that helps to see your lines. Sometimes the designs on your print make it harder to see the lines. There's lots of tricks you can do, like if you have, especially if you have a really dark print or a dark fabric, it's hard to see through the fabric. So what you can do is turn it over and fold back on that line. And since you can see through the light, you can fold back the paper where the line is. So then when you flip it over, see how you can really tell where that edge is. So I'm going to get my 5B piece and just do that same thing. The one thing you gotta be careful is that you put it in the right spot, because sometimes it might not be centered. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this right there. And then the center is about where that green is, so I'm just going to try and get it centered. But I'm going to just show you an example of folding that fabric back, and then I just line it right up with that space. Or what you can do as well is try your best to fold it this way, and then okay, so let's say we didn't fold it back, but let's say we just did it like I did in the other ones, and you did it and you lined it up and placed it. Then you can flip it over without unflipping this. So leave this folded back and hold it in place, and then flip the whole thing over. And that could show you too, because see how where the white fabric is, it's a lot more shaded, but then it's really bright. So that helps you see too, because that will create a lot more shadow where your thicker layers are. So that new section I lay down, and then where your one layer is. So there's lots of little tricks, especially with the light. I think makes it easier to tell where to paper piece and where to place your pieces. And then I just fold it. See, and then I have 4 sections, and then I just can put it over here with my other 3. And then what I will do, I'll just tell you right now, is then I'll just go and I flip them over. And especially when you're doing more than one, you want to make sure that they're all flat. But you flip them over at the machine, and then I just start here. I'll sew that one, and then I'll sew that one, and then I'll sew that one, and I'll sew that one. And I won't cut my thread between each, so it kind of saves thread maybe, but it, I don't know, maybe not when they're so far away, but it just speeds up the process, because then I can sew all 4 at the same time. And then after I sew, then I'll trim them and continue on. Then I move on with the next number. So I just wanted to share that with you really quick, so you could see a little bit how I paper piece, and a little bit how I chain piece with paper piecing. I think chain piecing is pretty common when you're not, you know, just with regular quilting. That's something really easy to do. But I think with paper piecing it's a little bit harder, but it sure speeds up the process a lot. So there you go. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed that. And I can't wait to show you how these turn out. I'll just line this one up. I think these are going to be so cute. My friend Christina is going to help me make some of these blocks, and I have a really fun plan for how to quilt these together with the white background. It'll be really fun, so stay tuned, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Okay, have a good night.